Imagine that you're in Tracktion Waveform and you are really trying to just speed up your workflow and you're not quite sure exactly how to do that. Well, in Tracktion Waveform, as well as any other DAW or any software for that matter, you will have keyboard shortcuts that will help you be able to do just that. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you 15 shortcuts that I think is very helpful for helping you speed up your workflow. This does not mean that this is the limitation, because there are many keyboard shortcuts. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe. It definitely does help the channel grow. Now, the keyboard shortcuts that we're going to actually use are focused on the PC, but I will also try to include the Mac versions as well. All right, let's start with Control A. Control A, if you're in Tracktion Waveform, will allow you to select all the tracks. So if I'm in here, I can Control A and I can select them. This might be great for if I wanted to, say for instance, copy it, which is another control. I can hold down Control and then drag them over and it will copy it. Easy peasy. So Control A or Command A if you're using the Mac, and the Control button or the Command button should work for copying like that. Control Z would be the next one, because whenever you make a mistake, you always want to undo what you just did. So Control Z will undo that. Now, say you wanted to redo what you undid. In this one, it's a little different because in Cakewalk or any other DAW, I don't know if every DAW is like this, but I'm used to seeing Control Shift Z to redo something. But in this case, it's going to be Control Y. And that's going to redo what I just did. It looks like I just copy and pasted again. But all I'm doing is pressing Control Y, Control Z to undo, right? Okay, so we've talked about Control A, we talked about Control Z, and Control Y, being able to select all, undo, redo. Now let's talk about the other control family shortcuts. Control C is to copy. So say for instance, I wanted to copy this track here, track 1. I can click on the clip, press Control C, and then the brother or sister to this is Control V to paste. If I click right here, I'm right past bar 5, I press Control V, and then that will copy and paste that. You already know how to undo it, so Control Z, let's undo that thing. I want to make sure that everything that I do to this project is still the way I really wanted it to be originally without making any changes. So that's okay. You already know that you can use the Control button by holding it down to drag it somewhere else, and that will copy it too as well. I mentioned that before, just in case you forgot. Just hold down Control button. I think for a Mac, it's just holding down the Command button will allow you to do that. If you're a Mac user and I've led you wrong, I'm so sorry. Control X is if I want to cut something, Control X. And if I want to repaste it again, of course, Control V, all right? Or I can do Control Z twice, which will go back to the original state of the project. And as you know, anytime you're making changes like this, you definitely want to save your work. So if you press Control S, you'll see edit saved. Let's move on to some other options. Now, there are some more keyboard shortcuts that involve control, but I'm going to move on for now. And if you've liked the video so far, well, definitely like the video. That would be great. All right. So let's go to the main button that you need to do anything, right, is the record button. So if I have a track enabled, say I want to record on track 8. So say if I want to record right here, then I have it enabled to record and I can press the R button. It's going to roll back a little bit and then go ahead, but then I can start just talking or doing whatever. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, let's listen to that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. Now, you can actually change this in settings, and I'll show you how to do that, so stay tuned for a little later. I'll show you exactly how to go about going in there and tweaking these keyboard shortcuts, because maybe you want them to be a little different. The R button should be enabled for record, but if it's not, then I'll show you how to change it. There is Shift R, which is an additional one. This is not on the agenda, but I'll give it to you anyway. Shift R will enable our arm record on all tracks. Well, it's not all the tracks, but all the tracks that are selected. The next shortcut we have is the space bar, which is used for play and stop, okay? If you are in your project and you notice that you really want to go back to the beginning of the project, you can press the W button. If you really want to quickly duplicate a clip, like for instance, I said earlier, you can do copy and use a control option, but you also can use the duplicate button, which is to quickly duplicate, and it'll just basically line it up perfectly with however long the clip is. And what it does is it copies and pastes it right next to the adjacent clip or whatever clip is next to it. So if I click on this clip and press D, then I could just keep pressing D. And you'll see that I've copied it several times real easy. Now say you are working in your project and you want to be able to split a clip. This allows you to quickly edit it, and maybe you want to only copy a specific section. So in that case, you definitely need to split. If you click on the clip, you will notice that you see this little line going back and forth, like a little white line. We want to line it up to exactly where we want it to be. This is our playback. And I would suggest clicking right on the clip that you want. And then you're going to press the forward slash or backward slash. I don't remember what type of slash basically it is. It's the question mark, right? Press the question mark. That's on your keyboard. And that will split it right there. And maybe I want to split it at bar 3. Click down there again, and it'll split it at bar 3. And now I have these separate clips. Okay. Come in handy if I want to copy or if I want to delete this section because there's nothing right there, then I can press delete and it's gone. Control Z undoes everything and you're good to go. As far as navigating through your project, you want to be able to move around and shift things and change the way you're viewing things. So using the cursor or the wheel on your mouse will help to shrink the tracks or expand the tracks, all right? You also can use the arrow keys that are on the keyboard to do this. If you press up, then it will shrink it. If you press down, then it will expand it. Of course, it kind of leads all the way over there. That's okay. We'll bring it back. So there's a little scroll wheel at the bottom too as well. There are commands that you can or shortcuts that you can create for all of these. And I've probably created some. I don't know if these were set up like this or not, but I decided to set mine like this. And if you press Control and the arrow keys up, makes it shrink vertically. And if you press the down, holding Control, then it makes it expand vertically. If you select a clip and you hold down Shift and the arrow keys, then you can move that clip up vertically to whatever tracks are available. So if you had more tracks that were empty, then you can move things around. Or you can do what's called nudging to the right or left. So I can nudge it to the right, I can nudge it to the left using the left and right cursor keys. This comes in handy because if you are trying to get your vocals lined up, or maybe your guitar part was slightly a little bit off and you don't really want to quantize, of course, it's kind of hard to quantize audio anyway, but if you were working with MIDI and something was slightly off, you can shift it to the left, shift it to the right. Or if your vocal part was slightly out of line because of latency issues, you can switch it or nudge it. Okay, and if you're going to be doing more navigation around the DAW, then you definitely want to be able to pull up some things that are very helpful to you. One feature that is on here is the browser feature, and the browser feature is going to be where you can find some of those plugins that you've been looking for. Or if you have audio that you want to import and you want to quickly find it on your computer, that's where it'll be. If you press B, the letter B on the keyboard as in boy, then it will bring up the browser. All right. And you'll notice that the browser has multiple sections to it. It has the actions. Okay. It has the files. It has the search, has tracks, and it has markers. All right. Press B again and it will hide it. Another thing that you may need to use is M, which is for the mixer view. If you press M, that'll bring up the mixer view. The mixer view is definitely helpful when you're trying to get a vertical view of how all the tracks look. It just looks a little bit more pleasant when you're trying to mix in the final stages when you're working with the mixer itself. All right, press M to get rid of that. If you want to tweak them or change some of the key bindings, let's go to settings. Let's go to keyboard shortcuts. All right, and then we're gonna say I'm trying to look for a specific key. Like say I'm trying to find, well, let me see what K is assigned to. So I can type in here, press keyboard to filter. I'm gonna type in the letter key. I'm gonna type in the letter K. It says move end of clips to cursor. Okay. I may need that. I don't need it right now. Let's say, what about Shift F? Shift F is not assigned to anything, but if I wanted to assign that to something, I can go here and I can search for a mode, and anything that's not assigned yet, I can assign it. Like maybe I want to do insert a new audio clip, insert new edit clip, or let's see, rename clip. Oh, there's a shortcut for that. That would be good. I can click here and it says, please press a key combination now. All right, and then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna press down whatever key you wanted that was. So it was Shift and F, right? Okay, Shift and F. It will let you know if it's been assigned already, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I can press OK and assign it there. Now, if you want to do a search for the actual command and to see what it's binded with key-wise, then you can just do a search here. So like if I wanted to say, let's look at like step sequencer. I'm wondering if like the step sequencer, insert new step clip. So I know I can do that. That works. Let's see. And then I have a plus sign here. And then I'm going to try to choose a combination that I know that is already taken. So I'm going to let's press Control C. And you'll notice it says currently this is assigned to copy. So that's good to know. Then that way you can press cancel. Now, if you press OK, it's going to overwrite it. But you don't want to do that right now. So we're going to press cancel and then we can go from there. So I hope this helps you all. Let me know in the comments. Do you use shortcuts? And are there some shortcuts that you use that I didn't cover now? And if you have any questions about waveform, like I said, I am absorbing information and I am figuring out the best way to answer comments. And I do want to provide an actual answer via comment typing, but I do want to create those videos that might be helpful for you all. This is Waveform Explored. I'm Justin Norm. All right, take care, you all. Love you, and Happy New Year to you. Peace.